You know, guys, every day we have to digest nasty, negative news on a daily basis. I think we need to take an exit ramp and tell a feel good story, a little change of pace, somewhere where somebody wins. In this little story, everybody wins. All right, I'm going to lay it on you. Well, hello there. It's me again. Just follow the mouse. Up top, the breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs tell you who's flapping their gums. Down below, it's story time. I figured I'd try a little change of pace, and instead of sending you CAD drawings and all that shit, I'll tell you a little story, all right? Just to see, let's see if this flies. This story is called Jewelry Store Rings. You see the text, see the rings, little visuals to help the story. All right. This story goes back to 1967. Yeah, 1967. Does that give you a clue as to how much mileage I got on me? All right. Yeah, back in 1967, Dracula couldn't count. Jesus Christ was still an altar boy. That's taking you back a little. And I was a machine shop instructor at a trade school in New Bedford, Mass. I call the story Jewelry Store Rings. The name is perfect. Once we get into it, you'll agree. All right? I'll embellish it. That's my style. It's my way of showing you my tattoo. You're going to like this story. You want to know why? You're going to like it because I like it. It's a feel-good story. It's an everybody wins story. Like the bedtime stories I told my kids, it always ended up with, and everybody lives happily ever after. That's why. How do you like them apples? Now it's time to move everything except our bowels. All right? Here's what you're looking at. You're looking at a lathe. See this thing where the mouse is? Right? Story at the top. A lathe there. That's the machine that's going to be used to make the jewelry store rings. All right? Let's move on to the next picture. All right, allow me to tell you why all the players showed up and interacted. This is all about the trade school. This is a little background for you. It will set the tone and make the story more realistic. Let's do a little reading, right? It says, up here at the left, you see this logo. It says, Department of Labor, United States of America. I got two of them, one on each side, all right, just to make it symmetrical, all right? The objective, now this is called Manpower Training Course, all right? That's how the government describes it, all right, because the government put this on. Objective to mainstream unemployed people. That's how the government talks. I'm really impressed with that kind of bullshit, right? Let me give you an idea, a little background here. The typical results of this manpower training course, all right? Here we go. The instructors, the students, and the administration were all there to suck up free government money. That's what these assholes do. Nobody gives a rat's ass about anything, about learning. Follow the mouse. This program was at least 20 years old. They never employed one person. They were all as useless as tits on a bull. Let me make a comment. That's down below here. That's your tax dollars at work. That's typical, right? We all know that bullshit. Another comment. the U.S. government couldn't run a lemonade stand. We all know that too. It's something else we all know. We have met the enemy, and he is us. Isn't that right? All right. Now we put the preliminaries in back of us. Let's get on with the story. All right. I'm in as an instructor, and I find two guys in the machine shop in my division making something for themselves. You know, that's kind of frowned on, right? But anyways, rather than shit down their neck and be a pain in the ass, right? I figure, well, when the time is right, I'll find out what's going on and and see if they're learning anything. So the timing is right. The day comes. There's a guy in a lathe. You can see over here. I got a picture that depicts that. See, this says instructor. That says student. That's not me, and that's not the student. I got this picture off the web. All right, I just labeled it. Anyways, the timing is right. I go up to the guy on the lathe and I say to him, "Hey, pal, I know you're making something for yourself. You and that other monkey on the other side, you and your partner. Call him over here." So he calls his buddy over to the lathe. Now there's one instructor, two students standing by the lathe, right? And I say to him, "I know you're making something for yourself. Guess what? I don't give a shit. Here's what I care about. Are you doing it right? Are you learning anything, right? It's my job to teach you something. Show me what you're doing and maybe I can help." So we're standing by the lathe and we're looking down right here. See where the mouse is? That's a 3-jaw chuck. The guy's got in it. Watch that. He's got a pipe nipple. See the mouse? I don't know if you know what a pipe nipple is. Right? Most guys do. Anyways, then they got a pipe nipple in the 3-jaw chuck. The guy is facing it and turning it. And I stop him and I say, "What the hell are you making?" They're saying, "We're making rings for our girlfriends." I said, "What?" Go down to the next text. "That material is worse than dog shit." Right? They're kind of looking at me like, they don't know shit about material. So I say to them, go down to the next text. When I was at your level of learning, I made the same mistake, but instead I made earrings for my girlfriend. I said, you know what happened after that? I ended up with 2 green thighs. Are you getting my drift? We all had a little chuckle, and these guys are saying, "This asshole is a little bit crazy," right? Go over to the right. I said to them, "If you want to make rings, we will make jewelry store rings." You see the title of the story? Jewelry store rings. I said to them, "I'll bring in some stainless steel. We'll get the show on the road tomorrow." Said, "I'm going to advise you to pack a lunch. It's going to be a long and exciting day." And I got one more comment for you. You see the rings you're making? I wouldn't give that piece of shit to a hooker. I forgot to mention something. Them guys came in, they started making them rings. I helped them, obviously. Them guys were so fucking excited. They got to school early. I couldn't get them out of school. They were into making that shit. We spent a lot of time. They learned a lot about machining. They learned a lot about materials. All right? These guys were into that shit. All right? So anyways, just wanted to mention it. Forgot to mention it. These guys were on board. Oh! All right? Now the next step in the story. You see what it said? You see this guy in the picture? I had motorcycle freaks in my class, a number of them. This guy in the picture, does he look happy? He's so fucking happy he wouldn't change places with Jesus Christ. Right? Right? We're talking about just like the jewelry store rings, we're into motorcycle parts now. Alright? So let's go to the text. Get the story on the road. See up here? The same jewelry store ring scenario migrated to other students who own motorcycles. I mentioned that already. After a couple of interactions, like the other guys I caught them doing government jobs, I allowed and encouraged that they make parts for their bikes, right? The response was amazing. Right here, it says, it was like I lit a fire under their asses. I had a positive attitude tsunami on my hands. Obviously, we know what a tsunami is. That's heavy-duty shit. Let me bring this up a little. Like the jewelry store rings, they didn't want to leave the shop. Right? They came in early, couldn't get them out of the building. They were hopped up on motorcycle parts. I'm going to lay a few bullet points on you, right? Here's how that evolved. First bullet point. We had meetings. We held some meetings to exchange different ideas. Ideas about motorcycles, motorcycle parts, materials, and all the things that are involved in making those parts. Next bullet point. Motorcycle slang and machine shop terminology blended into one language. Now these guys were articulating. You like that big word, articulating? The way they spoke was different. All right? They were getting into this shit. All right, next bullet point. In order to make those parts, you needed creative machine tool setups to accommodate customized motorcycle parts. Well, that's where I come in. I'm hip to that shit, you know? Anyways, I'm going to repeat again. The dialogue changed from street talk to motorcycle and machine tool terminology, right? These students were transforming into tradesmen in a short period of time. It's amazing how fast they evolved. Next bullet point. They entered the program looking for a free government giveaway, like I mentioned, right? Things had changed. They exited all excited, anticipating a career, eager to find a job, all right? Let me go down a little more. Try this on. They were in hog heaven. You get the pun? All right? I like this because this is a feel-good and a win-win story. Hang on. All right. Immediately after the manpower course ended, I put my ass in my hand and went to some local machine shops. I lobbied for my ring and motorcycle students. Those guys were hot. As a result, I'm just showing you pictures of different shops. I got them off the net, all right? All right? Anyway, the results of my lobbying. 4 guys got jobs, all right? Try this on. That's 400% better than the previous 20 years. Let me ask you this. What's the big difference? The difference is somebody gives a fuck. Try my Model 1. If it breathes the air, drinks the water, it has my respect. Alright? I don't give a rat's ass if they're short, tall, black, white, queer, straight. Everybody gets the same respect. There's a button there, though. But if you shit on my shoes, I'll take your ass to the curb and tap dance on your fucking head. I respond to kindness, and I also respond to attacks. Here's my advice. It's right up there on the screen. This is profound, you know. I'm into pay it forward, right? You know, take a look at that, and it should affect you. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up right here. Thanks for watching, right? And give me a few comments. This is kind of like a trial balloon. Let me know if this little story made your boat float or if it sucked. I'd appreciate some comments. All right? You have a good day.